Miss GIORGI leads 2-1 first set.
Chanda, you were 6 in the world, and you played Serena on this centre court the first year she won back in 2002. Obviously, that means you didn't win.
Exactly.
What was the experience like of taking on a young Serena?
Well, it was the first time we had played, and you know, it was special for me. Obviously, being on center court at Wimbledon, I was coming back from a second consecutive surgery that I'd had back-to-back years, and you know, just to be back out, to be healthy, to be playing pretty good tennis, which I was coming into the event. But it's always was a bit of an unknown playing against Serena, because she was so strong, she was so powerful, and even then, in those early years, I mean, you knew she was going to be a great player, and you had to bring your best game. And she's kind of talked about that. We've seen in some interviews here this year that that's what she's had to face her whole career, and it's because she has been such a phenomenal player and phenomenal athlete that I definitely feel blessed to have played against her here at a slam.
Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats quickly. Thank you.
In this match,
15 love.
the first couple of balls within points are going to be so crucial, and Serena, she is laser focused, hitting the serve just a little bit bigger in these early stages.
Miss Williams is changing the call on the right center service line. Ball was called out.
It's very unusual for Serena to challenge so early. Never that keen to go to Hawkeye.
Second service. Mrs. Williams has 2 challenges remaining.
Chanda, you're dead right about Serena hitting a little bit bigger today off her forehand. She was average speed, average top speed, 72 miles per hour. She's up to 78. And it's a cooler day.
Yeah, and that's a significant difference. And the balls probably aren't going through the air quite as quickly as when it was warmer.
I think they measure it though. Often the Hawkeye girls tell me.
Does that take that into account?
No, it doesn't. It's just when the ball strikes the racket bed. But even so, you see it, and the data backs it up. Ominous opening service games.
Mrs. Williams.
Serena Williams yet to drop a point. And her serve.
It's interesting, you know, you talk about facing Serena on this court, and you know, on the grass, center court, her serve just seems so much bigger, so much more difficult to get on top of. I remember playing her later on the hard court. And it was just a little easier.
Love 15.
And then the other intangible is, you know, Serena, she can eat up extra space, and you know, she has the height, but it's just the way she moves, how quick she gets off the ball, and the intensity that she brings to each point, and that's going to be something GIORGI has to contend with. Drake in the audience there, watching his friend.
I hear Justin Timberlake is here
as well.
I don't know quite where he is.
Wow, music royalty.
Yeah, Serena tends to bring out the stars, doesn't she?
Fifteen on.
Of the match, but right now
40-15.
Giorgi can hang her hat on the fact that she's out-acing Serena.
And that's not Giorgi's fastest serve of the tournament just yet. It's pretty impressive thus far.
It'll be very interesting if Giorgi is able to stay up on her baseline as much as she has done in her rounds so far, where she's beaten fantastic players. Sevastova, the 21st seed, Brengel of America, Siniakova, and then Makarova. And it was Makarova who put out Wozniacki in the second round. Oh, did a great job of getting the ball away from Williams. Camilla Giorgi certainly has our attention. They're on serve early stages of this opening set.
Miss Giorgi leads 3-2 first sets.
Chanda, when Serena walks out onto the biggest court, you sense she owns all the other players. She owns the women's tour. It's almost as if when she's down the other end, players are hypnotised by her presence and her aura, and they don't get the ball away from her. But Giorgi just seems to be doing that out here.
Giorgi, she has a different mentality to be able to go out and hit balls as hard as she hits them, and whether she makes the shot or misses the shot, she gets right back up to the line and plays the same way through the course of an entire match. Some players, when they start missing a few, they tend to get maybe a little more tentative. They start thinking about those misses. Giorgi has that mentality where she is just unbothered by it, and that may help her going up today against Serena when other players sort of feel her greatness and are a little taken aback by it or a little daunted by the occasion. I think Giorgi's going to keep going and keep hitting.
Love. 15 all.
That ball. Yeah, that ball was very close, and Serena kind of second-guessed herself about challenging.
Being told by Hawkeye it was 5 millimeters in,
wow.
So she should have challenged.
Yep. Serena lost her very first challenge on her serve, and maybe that made her second-guess challenging that last point. Wonder how costly that could be. A little opening here for GIORGI.
Well, GIORGI, through Serena's first couple of service games, couldn't lay a hand on her. A couple of chances to break it. As Patrick Mouratoglou, Serena's coach, looks on, I think they would have been quite concerned about this match.
Serve from Serena, just a little more kick on it, getting out of GIORGI's strike zone. It's a good serve to mix it up.
We never get to know GIORGI, do we? We've commentated on her so many times. But Serena is all about passion and emotion. GIORGI just leaves that in the locker room. Serena's in trouble here early on, and it's GIORGI with the first
break. Miss GIORGI leads 4-2 first sets.
GIORGI had her breakthrough year in 2015 and ended the year around 30 in the world. And she had a few injuries last year, had some stops and starts.
Love 15.
I was a little bit surprised when I was looking at some of her results that Wimbledon has been her most successful Grand Slam. I didn't necessarily think the grass as being her best surface, but as big as she hits the ball, she can come in, play at the net. Best time to break serve is immediately after you've been broken. Good start to this return game for Serena.
It's Serena broken for the 6th time in this championships, and yesterday when she was broken against Rodina, Rodina rather stirred up a hornet's nest because she was broken back immediately. Oh!
And that's one of the dangers of hitting the ball as hard as GIORGI hits it. Sometimes it comes back on you even quicker. No time for GIORGI to react.
Here comes Serena, 3 break-back points.
(15-14). 30-14.
Giorgi still facing a break point in this game.
Let for service.
That is great discipline from the Italian number one. Three first serves from Love 40.
And she got so clear on the strengths of her game.
Yes.
Giorgi did, and didn't panic. Italian player there, Tatiana Garbin, watching on.
Yeah, having a part to play. And Giorgi's success this year at Wimbledon.
Advantage, Mrs. Williams.
And those would be the opportunities that Serena would want to look for whenever she can take them. The chance to just step in just a little bit more on top of the baseline there, taking that second serve a little earlier. It's tough to do when Giorgi hits it so big, though. The shot, that forehand from Giorgi, was certainly big enough, but she followed it in, was looking to take the ball out of the air, even if Serena did get it back in play. Smart move from the Italian.
Advantage, Miss Giorgi.
There is a confidence about this diminutive Italian, and it is. Serena, you're not there. I'm here to play my game. And the seven-time champion in trouble here. Giorgi somehow gets out of that service game and takes a 5-2 lead to the change of ends.
New balls, please. Miss Giorgi leads 5-2 first sets.
The interview questions that Serena answered when she said, you know, one of the things that makes me great is I play players at their greatest, and these girls bring a game I haven't seen before. Well, Giorgi, this is her game. This is the way she plays every player that's on the other side of the court, and it does seem a bit like she's taken Serena completely out of the equation. She's not worried about it. She's going to play her tennis, and win or lose, she'll take that into the locker room. And right now, I mean, she is playing lights out and playing very smartly as well.
Yeah, something that you were talking about when we were before, back in the media room, when we were talking about this match, you know, how to get Serena on the move. A lot of players don't seem to do it. We've seen it from Giorgi over what, they've only been out there
7 games now.
Yeah, been out there. Can't seem to find a clock anywhere in the building.
Time.
About half an hour. There we are.
But she's done a good job, Giorgi, of mixing in a few angles along with the depth and the pace she's getting on her ground strokes.
30 love.
I don't know if you had a chance to watch Strokes of Genius the other night on the BBC about the rivalry between Federer and Nadal and their final here, their epic match, the greatest of all time in 2008. But both said tennis is about problem solving, making those decisions and figuring it out. And that's where Serena is right now. And that's a pretty good solution.
Serena has proven herself to be one of the best problem solvers out there.
And smashing down the fastest serve of the entire tournament is one way to go.
Let's first service.
Just a couple of miles an hour than her sister Venus, who was top of the charts at 120. That's a great response. Another love service game for Williams.
'Pressure right back on GIORGI, having held serve.
GIORGI in her first ever Grand Slam quarter-final. Let's see if she can keep her nerve.
First couple of points of these games, serving for a set, serving for a match, are so crucial. Good start for GIORGI.
GIORGI, 3 or 4 years ago, used to average at least 10 double faults a match. She's knocked it down to, I think, a creditable 6 over the last couple of seasons.
GIORGI recovering from that double fault.
30-15.
Getting the footwork going. You could hear the quick steps she was taking in the middle of that rally, allowing her to get in a position. Beautiful mover out there as well.
Well, the centre court crowd might just remember Kamila GIORGI from her 4th round appearance here back in 2012, losing to Aga Radwanska. But it's a different GIORGI now here in 2018, unfazed, with 2 set points. She's going to have to do it from a set down. GIORGI takes it in 35 minutes in an absorbing 6 games to 3.
6 games to 3.
Well, GIORGI, I mean, that's a fantastic set of numbers. John, to take us through them.
Well, GIORGI, the points won on first serve, 84%. You know, she's so confident behind her serve, obviously capitalizing just once, break point opportunities, and that was all she needed. And she was just so clutch. The unforced errors from GIORGI, just 6 unforced errors with 8 total winners. That doesn't take into account the forced errors that she's creating. And she has just played a very clean set very few mistakes. And she came out not feeling overawed by the occasion, by the court, by her opponent. And it's going to be a tough day at the office for Serena to work her way back into this match.
I love the way you say it. It's so clutch. You have the best accent from Lafayette, Louisiana. Come on, say that again for me, Chanda.
Time.
I can't do it now. Now I feel the pressure.
Second set. This is Williams to serve. Let first service. Fifteen love.
Williams hasn't been into the net a great deal throughout the previous 4 rounds. She might have to switch things up today on centre court.
That ball looked like it just missed. Serena questioning the chair, getting confirmation.
Here comes Serena.
40-15.
And it was Serena moving forward, taking ground away, and the act of moving forward into the net is what generated that extra bit of pace.
Response from Williams to losing that first set.
First game,
but
second
Chanda,
set.
She's being pushed around out here on the centre court, her home, by a welterweight. I mean, this, got some data here. This is what's been happening.
And you can see 24% of the time Serena's inside the baseline, but 76% of the time she's behind the baseline. And GIORGI, in contrast, inside the baseline almost half of the time. She is the one taking ground away, especially when they get into the longer rallies. It's GIORGI who is just squeezing Serena back further and further.
How long can she continue to do that for? We'll see.
Serena hasn't been into the net a whole lot during this championships. It's not where she's most comfortable, but she may have to look at, forcing that a little bit more as this match goes on. it's always a bit daunting to try to move into the net when somebody hits the ball as hard as GIORGI does. But because she hits so straight, you can sometimes actually get a good volley in a good position because you know that ball is going to be very long across the court. It won't be always dipping at your feet.
Third seater team.
The great woman Billie Jean King, 50 years since she won the title here, one of many. Holds 20 Wimbledon titles in singles, doubles and mixed. Billie Jean will be fascinated by what she's seeing in these quarterfinals. The depth of women's tennis. I was very fortunate to bump into her earlier today, and she said the depth, it's coming. That's why so many of the big names have gone out in this tournament.
(40-30).
Response to that return from GIORGI. 117 miles an hour off that first serve.
1 game all, second set.
And apart from the 7th game of that opening set, really where she saved 4 break points, GIORGI looking confident and really untroubled behind her deliveries.
These are very important moments for GIORGI. Having held serve to start this second set, to keep it tight, keep the tension in the match, show Serena that she believes she can win this. This is often a stage where players against Serena will start to falter, will start to think about it a little bit, think about the moment, the occasion, and they'll let up just a bit. And that's what she is great at capitalizing on.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Thank you.
That's an excellent play from Serena. It didn't have to hit the volley, but the fact that she was moving forward, GIORGI looks up and sees her there. That may get her another point or two later in the match.
Well, Serena's tennis antennae might be twitching at the moment. There's a real opportunity there for GIORGI to generate a couple of break points. Instead, we're back at 30 all.
40-30.
Second set, we're on serve. Williams leading by 2-1.
Mrs. Williams leads 2-1, second set. First set, Miss GIORGI.
So was that a Camilla GIORGI blink there? Just that 1 point? Do you think we ought to bookmark it?
Well, just a slight blink. And for GIORGI, she would probably forget about it and put it out of her mind, get right back to business. But for Serena, that was just a little indicator that maybe things get tight further down the road in this set. Maybe I can get another miss or two from GIORGI. And it gives a top player, you know, just that extra bit of confidence when they see a player miss an easy ball like that.
How's Serena looking to do? Can you really see a slight change in the tactics coming forward?
Well, she looks like she has a higher level of intensity. She looked that way from the start of the match. But, you know, this has been a difficult style for her.
Love-a-team. Let's second service.
Point from GIORGI. Great response.
15-all.
But just talking about how difficult this style is to play against, and for Serena, you know, trying to gauge when to go for it, when to stay in rallies against somebody who's hitting the ball, you know, pretty much hard and harder. And I think Serena, she's been a little one-dimensional. You know, she hasn't mixed it up in ways that she could do a little bit more of. That's a good play, hitting hard and deep, but right up the middle, not giving GIORGI an angle.
15-30.
There is some frantic problem solving going on down at the Williams end. Running through all the possible permutations. Don't forget, first set she's ever lost against GIORGI in their 3 previous meetings. All were very comfortable. The Williams team coach Moghtaroglu, and then Gerald Kordemi, who works at the Moghtaroglu. Gosh, that's a difficult name to say, isn't it? At the academy, he's the fitness trainer, and hitting partner Jameer Jenkins, all intent on watching these two break points.
Couple of returns, Serena went hard up the middle with depth and pace there, trying to go for more placement. Didn't need to hit it quite that good.
Looks like Mum and Isha, they're just meditating their way through,
keeping calm.
She's got it. And Serena can see some daylight here.
And that's an excellent play that Serena may remember as this goes on.
Mrs. Williams leads 3-1, second set.
Return hard, deep up the middle. Getting a ball that sits up just a little more, then using the angle. Unbelievable court sense from Serena. Full, stretched out, still getting an excellent angle there.
Love. C15.
I think worth remembering that this is just Serena Williams' 13th match back since she returned to the tour 4 months ago. Last 10 minutes, it's just been a shift here on centre court.
We might be able to point to that one shot, but it's been Serena who's just elevated her level just slightly. Good return from GIORGI. Stepping in,
40-30.
Getting an almost perfect contact point.
Interesting coaching assignment for Garbine, who once beat Justine Henin at the French Open. Good player, Garbine. And she'll enjoy watching a great champion come back here. Williams looking very comfortable in this second set. She leads 4-1 with the break.
Mrs. Williams leads 4-1, second set. First set, Miss GIORGI.
Chandra, I want to take you back to our lunch in Paris, you know, in the little media canteen, and I was asking you about...
We would have tea.
We'd have tea.
Bring me a cup of tea.
That's it. I'll bring you a cup of tea. and we'd have the same lunches we'd had like day in, day out during the French Open. And I was asking you, because this is not my field of expertise, getting your fitness back. You have a 3-year-old child, and what it's like. Almost two, sorry.
I'm still working on the fitness.
Okay, but what it's really like for Serena.
It's tough. I mean, the core is really the most important thing as a tennis player that you want to work on, getting back. And, you know, that's the hardest thing, especially after a C-section, which Serena has been very open about, the difficulties she had with the delivery. And it just speaks to how phenomenal an athlete she is, that she's playing at this level, which is still pretty soon after having had her baby in September. She's back to this level, moving well.
Yeah, she's had a lot of the tennis mums or the ex-tennis mums like Kleisters and yourself just shaking their heads. How does she do it?
One of the things that I've sort of looked for in Serena's game is, you know, number one, the serve. You know, when was she going to get that back going at full speed? And, you know, she's just about there, in my opinion. And then the movement, the ability to change direction. I mean, that's where your core comes into play as well. And she's looking better and better. In the French Open, we really saw her make some huge improvements during the tournament, during matches, which not many players could do, could play them way into that kind of better form during a Grand Slam. And then here at Wimbledon, she looks even more comfortable, Serena does. This is an important game for GIORGI to make a stand, stop the run of games.
Third C15.
That Serena has won, and just keep herself within striking distance in this set.
Fourth C15.
Well, that's a massive return from Serena. That looked like GIORGI was going to be in control after that serve, and Serena just took it away.
It's been a big pushback, hasn't there, in this second set from Williams.
Game is GIORGI.
Steady as she goes from Camilla Giorgi.
Mrs. Williams leads 4-2, second set.
It's always odd for me to call her Williams. Old habits, I guess, die hard. I've called so many matches between her and Venus, and so I've always just said Serena or Venus. So I'm going to let you say Williams. I'm going to keep saying Serena, if that's okay.
You can say whatever you want, Chanda. we know who she is.
In this day and age of Twitter, people want to tweet and say, oh, why are you calling this player that and other player, you know, this? You have to explain everything.
Don't you worry about it, Chanda.
Okay,
You're in England now.
I feel better.
It's not something to stress about.
dramatic level of intensity from Serena. That's been one of the biggest changes in this second set. You're seeing just a few signs from Giorgi that she's feeling the pressure, feeling the tension.
Serena or Mrs. Williams very much in control out here. 5-2, she leads second set.
New balls, please. Mrs. Williams leads 5-2, second set. First set, Miss GIORGI.
Chandra, it takes a massive support team, doesn't it, to keep the Williams machine going. And I don't envy the job of Jill Smoller, who is Serena's agent. She's along there somewhere, having to sort out all these tickets and passes, and it's not the easiest. In fact, Jill's just jumped out for a moment. But what's the impact of Muratoglu on Serena? They've been together about 3 years now, haven't they?
Yeah, and they started working together after Serena, sort of around that time. Serena had that bad loss at the French Open. She lost first round, and it just wasn't the Serena that we were expecting to see. And she did a complete reset with him, and he is so positive. It's one of the things you remark on when you talk to him, and it's been him that has sort of told her, why limit yourself? Which is a scary thought. Serena not limiting herself with everything she's already won. He makes her believe that she can win everything.
It's been exactly a 30-minute turnaround out here. And GIORGI finds herself serving now to stay in the second set.
Love the team.
And we can talk about Patrick Muratoglu, but you also have to kind of remark on Venus and Serena's parents and the way that they brought them up to believe in themselves. I mean, that was the base and gave Patrick something to work with. And Serena was going through a tough time in her career. We talk so much about the weapons of Serena, physically, what she can do on the court, but I still believe her biggest weapon is the belief and that intensity she brings to every point. And when you're on the court against her, that's what you feel. Every single point doesn't let up. And right now, it's exactly what GIORGI is having to contend with, trying to hold serve, stay in this set.
Yeah, the new balls just flying on Serena there.
40-15.
GIORGI.
Mrs. Williams leads 5-3, second set.
One break in each set, that's all it's taken. And Serena right here looking to take this quarter-final into a decider. Question, Chandler. First point of pretty much every Serena Williams service game. She serves wide in the juice court to GIORGI. Why on earth is GIORGI just standing over there?
Old habits die hard. It's difficult to make adjustments under pressure.
I've been waiting for just to shift over. Just a few centimetres will do.
It's definitely been a bit of an adjustment that Serena has made on serve to get a little more angle at times. In most cases, though, she likes to go down the tee. Big points.
GIORGI hasn't done an awful lot wrong in this set, but just a little air has gone out of the Italians' game. And Serena's taken full advantage. 3 set points for the 7-time champion.
Let for service.
GIORGI on the serve, cheating over, down the tee. Oh, wow.
40-30.
Might not have been the full intent,
Wait, please.
GIORGI's, but I'm sure she'll take it.
Didn't see a lot of the strings, did it there? Full frame.
And on your right as well. Thanks.
So still a set point for Williams. Serena Williams as she takes the second set by 6-3.
6-3. 1 settle.
Very different set of numbers in this second set for Williams, but gotta say, break points few and far between there, Chanda. It's tight, isn't it?
It's I mean, it has just been about 1 or 2 points here or there. And for Serena, she was just a little more clutch in the big moments in the second set. The first serve, she got more first serves in and won a little higher percentage of points on first serve and took GIORGI out of her service games more consistently. And I thought a number of times that Serena came in that first set, she maybe came in just 1 time. In the second set, 3 times, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it was big moments that she was able to come in and take advantage. And also she made some additional moves into the net where she didn't have to hit the volley, but it just indicated her playing a little more aggressively, a little further inside the baseline.
Final set, Miss GIORGI to serve. Second service. Love 15.
Come on.
15 on.
Serve 118 miles per hour.
30-15.
GIORGI thought Serena was going back cross court with that forehand. Serena changing direction over the high part of the net, hitting through the ball so confidently right now.
Pretty good numbers for GIORGI, over 30% unreturned serves. That's excellent. I mean, you don't often get up to over 40%. That's where Williams is, but she has performed so well out here. Really caught Serena there. Great start to this deciding set from Camilla GIORGI.
First game, final set.
It's interesting when ex-players become coaches. They see how stressful it is.
Much harder to sit and watch if you have a vested interest in a match than to go out and play it.
So what's the script now, Chanda?
Well, this is where, GIORGI has to really believe that she can take this match. She faltered just a little bit, a few more unforced errors. Serena raised her level in this match, but it's just going to come down to who can produce in the big moments. Serena's done it more often in her career.
Love 15.
I also think Serena has to be more aggressive in terms of her court positioning, in terms of mixing in the angles just 1 or 2 additional times during a game. And that's going to be the way for the American to keep GIORGI slightly more off balance. That's the serve GIORGI's been guarding against. Serve down the tee. That is heat from Serena.
(40-15). Game, Mrs. Williams.
Hasn't faced a break point since she was broken in the 6th game of that opening set. Chanda, we're looking for little areas where Serena's improved. We've found some right here.
Yeah, the average return speed between the first set and the second set. Serena, that added level of intensity that she's brought.
Love 15.
It may not seem like a lot when you add 3 or 4 miles per hour to your shots, but off the ground that makes a big difference, and GIORGI is just feeling that added weight. This is where we start to see Serena come back. Her ability to take a basic rally ball and just add pace and add speed to it, it's almost second to none.
Love 14.
It's a different level, and we've seen it for almost 2 decades now. Williams with a big chance to make a significant move right at the start of this final set. She's got it! And she moves ahead for the very first time in the match. Williams with that early break, 2-1 final set.
Mrs. Williams leads to 2-1 final set.
And Sam, Serena, she just looks even calmer right now. I mean, those shots that she hit off the return with so much pace, but her head, her body was so still, beautifully getting behind the ball. but she looks like it's a bit of a walk in the park.
Tennis for Serena is all about passion and energy and emotion.
Time.
And we found him, Justin Timberlake. We knew he was here. I have to say, we've been looking for him for the last hour and a half.
You've been looking for him, I know.
I have. I've been very concerned about his whereabouts.
Jessica Biel there, the other side of it. I like her as well. Actress.
Love 15.
And that forehand just shows you a little bit of the difference. A couple of returns in the previous game. Serena stayed down and so still behind the ball. There, she lifted up just slightly. A little bit of happy feet, we call it, and ball sailing, not getting the spin on it.
We expect so much of Serena Williams, don't we? And it'd be very interesting to see if it's plain sailing now all the way to the finish line. Those have been few and far between. That's just her third. Two great athletes out there today on centre court.
40-30.
And they both responded. When the other has pushed a little bit, the other's pushed back. We're seeing excellent competing between these two.
Mrs. Williams leads 3-1, final set.
One of the biggest shots in this match so far has been the serve of Serena's. She has improved the first serve percentage. She's improved her placement from the first set to the second and now the third. GIORGI not having a whole lot of places to go to right now.
I feel like we were 20 years ago, Chanda, when Serena won her first Grand Slam title in New York. The adage always is, if Serena's playing her best, no one can beat her.
30 love.
I'm not sure we thought all these years later, though, that that would still be true.
It's really just a credit to how Serena continues to adjust. When we talk about the same thing with regard to Roger Federer, Nadal to a slightly lesser degree because he's a little bit younger. But the way they've continued to improve, to add levels to their game, and the mental toughness that they bring.
Forty-15. 40-30.
Wow, that second serve really is a high wire act, isn't it?
It's all or nothing. That's the 6th double fault of the match for Giorgi.
Certainly must have stressed Dad out, Sergio, over the years. Who's very much been the driver behind her career, taking her to all the different tennis academies as a junior, trying to mastermind her career. Final set.
Mrs. Williams leads 3-2 final sets.
Chanda, you played in an era where the greatest players in the world, they dominated. Monica Seles, Steffi Graf, Arantxa Sanchez on the clay. It's very different now. What's your take on what we're seeing? All these top players losing early, not just at slams, it's happening on the tour, and it has done for a number of years.
Well, I definitely think there's more depth, and it has been that way probably over the last 10, 15 years, where we've started to see more and more depth in the women's game. And I think now the other side of it is, players play fairly similar styles. Everybody hits the ball hard, everybody plays from the ground. You don't see a lot of the variety we maybe saw 15, 20 years ago. You don't see different styles.
Time.
So it makes it where anybody can compete from the first round of a slam, and you cannot pencil players in anymore.
You got out at the right time.
Love.
Giorgi, she has such slim margins, relatively speaking, especially in the forehand. Hits the ball even flatter. And she's just gone a little bit off. Serena has increased the pace on some of her serves, and just means more misses from Giorgi. Some of these balls from Giorgi are barely scraping over the net.
40 love.
When you have such slim margins, it can be tough when things get tight.
She's not pushing with quite the same conviction as she was in that opening set. Uphold for Williams. Surely here she can see the finish line.
Mrs. Williams leads 4-2 final sets.
And you really can see the tangible improvements that Serena has made in her service games. Still, hitting the ball big, maybe a little bit bigger, but making so many more first serves, not giving Giorgi very many openings. Challenge right now for Giorgi to maintain whatever bit of confidence that she can, the belief that she can hang in this match and stay in there. First order of business is, of course, holding serve. But this is where you start to have a few doubts and start to think, okay, Serena is playing so well, there's nothing I can really do to upset her rhythm.
Very tough for Giorgi. She's got really nowhere near the Williams serve. Hasn't had a single break point since the 6th game of the opening set. And before that, Serena was serving pretty much throughout that first set to love. Margins have been slim in this match.
40-15.
One break a set so far. You got to hand it to the Italian. What a response. And she hangs on in this discerning set, but it's Williams with the break, leading by 4-3.
New balls, please. Mrs. Williams leads 4-3, final sets.
Just trotting up what Williams has done this year. She came back in Indian Wells, played a few matches there, and then went to Miami. Lost in the opening round to Naomi Osaka. Wasn't ready, was she? Wasn't quite ready at the French Open, sort of trying to play her way into the tournament. We've got to remember this is Williams' 13th match back from the comeback. Yeah. How hard, it's hard to close out a match anyway, but is this still going to be difficult for Serena?
I don't think it's going to be that difficult. She's had enough matches now where she's had to close it out against some tough, stern competition. It's just going to be about staying in the moment, staying focused, and Serena has been one of the best at doing that. I think she's doing the hard work, which is raising her level, getting herself back to where she believes she should be in terms of her game. Sam talking.
On the right service line, ball was called in.
We have a challenge here. I remember talking with Serena earlier in the year in New York before Indian Wells. She played an event, tiebreak 10s. Call is confirmed.
15 love.
And you could tell she probably knew she wasn't quite ready, but she just said, I'm tired of practicing. I want to play matches. I want to get into competition. And she has really worked her way to fabulous level with all of these matches.
30 love.
Very few players could have done that and not lost confidence while they were doing it. And Serena, it's been pretty impressive in that respect.
I'm not sure there's any players that could have come back.
Can't think of anyone.
No. We're out of ideas. Williams now just putting a succession
40 love.
cruisy service games, piling the pressure back on GIORGI. And we're hearing that Serena's, on average, has raised her speed on her first serve by 5 miles an hour since that opening set.
Game.
And GIORGI knows it. Another love service game for Williams.
Mrs. Williams leads 5-3 final sets.
And this is going to be one of the biggest tests for GIORGI in this match. Compartmentalizing enough to just focus on her serve, not think about the overall. And the goal is to just put it right back on Serena's racket, and that's the best that GIORGI can do right now. And that's what she has to stay focused on.
Crediamo in te!
GIORGI unfazed. How the centre crowd have enjoyed her, watching her out here. It's Williams who will serve for a place in the the semi-final.
Mrs. Williams leads 5-4 final sets.
It really was an impressive game by GIORGI. I mean, it would have been easy to say, I'm out of this, it's not my day. I played well on center court here at Wimbledon. But GIORGI is not done yet, and she is going to make Serena have to serve it out.
Whatever happens, though, I mean, she's 26 years of age. She's been through a lot the last few years with injuries. Ranked 52 in the world now. First Grand Slam quarter-final. I have to believe that if she stays fit, there's going to be more and more. And the serve, under the greatest of pressure, I mean, it's pretty much held up, hasn't it?
It has. And, you know, she's played very smartly, even with her style of just guns blazing, hitting all out. She still played some smart tennis at some critical moments, so she can take a lot from this. But it's not over yet.
50 love.
Serve.
Thirty love. Thank you.
There is simply no one like Serena Williams. 3 match points. That's it. And once again, Serena reigns supreme on the centre court.
6-3, 6-4.
And the world's most famous sporting mum books her place in an 11th Wimbledon semi-final. That's an 11th, just quite extraordinary. For the first time in 2018 at Wimbledon, has to come back from a set down. But Chanda, GIORGI gave it everything. But it looks like no one can dislodge Serena.
GIORGI's first Grand Slam quarterfinal, and she acquitted herself well. Really gave Serena all she could handle, and it was Serena who had to raise the level of her play. The serve, I mean, that became such a weapon throughout the second and third sets in particular, and it just gives you an indication of why Serena's been the champion that she's been. She's able to respond in matches under intense pressure and produce the goods, and the self-belief she has is impressive to watch.
Well, before the start of this tournament, she was here practicing, and she brought her little daughter Alexis Olympia around the centre court and said to Olympia, I don't think she understood, she's only 10 months old, this is where dreams are made. I thought that was a wonderful thing for her to do, and that must be part of the motivation for Serena, not just title, not Grand Slam title, number 24, equaling the record of Margaret Court. And Chanda, she loves it out here, doesn't she?
She has always had tremendous motivation, and she finds the will to win, to keep getting better, to keep putting herself on the line when she could retire with all of her fame and riches, but she still has that drive and that desire to win titles on the biggest stages. And it has to be even more motivation as a mom to have your little daughter watching you. She may not understand everything just yet, but these are moments where you'll have the pictures and you'll have the experiences if you're Serena, and it has to mean that much more to her.
Still on track for title.